Hello everyone and welcome to another Starfield video. My name is Brian if you happen to be new to this channel, but if you're already part of the 74,641 of you guys who've hit that subscribe button, who are taking on this life challenge of becoming everyday millionaires and truly transforming your day-to-day lives, but overall your entire life here on this planet, welcome back and welcome in. We talk a lot about games and a little bit about life here, and hopefully we can help not only just you enjoy your feed here on YouTube just one more day at a time, but also to sit down and get motivated to really truly take back the power that is yours. And so we talk about that. We talk about a lot of stuff in Class Dismissed, which is usually at the end of this video, but we've got a lot to talk about, especially as it relates to Starfield and how gamers, we'll just say Twitter-based gamers, continue with their salt mines and continue to keep Starfield trending. And honestly, we're going to just review this console wars as they exist. As much as people say they get fatigued about them, it's great marketing at the end of the day, because right now Starfield continues to trend with over 200,000 tweets that are going over it. But I do have one show note. I actually agree with this comment. Harag brings up, says, great rants, loving them. However, can you please do something about the background images? I'm sick of seeing the same game loop from Bethesda. This game has been out for over a week. We're early access, and I'm sure that you have a copy. Post some of your gameplay in the background, please. And yes, like that's what we're going to start doing. You're going to start seeing that actually in this video. I'm going to keep off the cutscenes. It's just going to be gameplay focused for, that way you guys have a little bit of more variety when it comes to the actual game itself. But I've been holding off on that due to the risk of spoilers. I don't want to spoil anything that this game has for you guys. And so I'm still in that same kind of protectionist mindset. So let me know in the comments if you're good with, more than gameplay, but overall I think I'm just going to put in some gameplay and slowly seed that out. It's going to be trailing a little bit so that as people get to play the game, I'm not going to spoil a planet or a cutscene or things like that. But yes, that's going to be kind of the new rollout plan. I've been holding off so I don't ruin it for anybody, but that's just the show note. That's just kind of a nice note, so thank you, Harag. If you guys don't want any of that, let me know as well. I'm interested in all feedback so we can continue to build out some of the best content here on YouTube. Now, let's kick it off with, like I said, gamers just don't know what they're talking about. We got some salt mines to farm here. Phil Spencer celebrating over 1 million concurrent players across all platforms. Now, I'm playing on Steam, which represents roughly around 20 to 25% of the player base from the numbers alone on the concurrency side. So 75% of the player base coming from console and cloud streaming. And this is huge. And, exceeded 1 million. We don't have a specific number, but if it crossed over 2 million, I guess we would know. But this doesn't stop the PlayStation salt from rolling in. J-Dub says over 3 billion gamers have access to Starfield on PC, console, TV, and mobile. Yeah, man, like that's the strength here. That's the real strength. Over 28 million on Game Pass subscribers reported by Microsoft. Over 21 million Xbox Series consoles sold. Yet only 1 million gamers decided to download. And that's where J-Dub completely whiffs it. Like, now he's doing this, I would assume, to just troll on his engagement. He's getting 40,000.8K, impressions. If you guys want to help me, in the other side, you can come follow me over on Twitter. That's where I post my stats and these videos as well, exclusive content, and my anti-Marxist rants. So you guys can go follow me over there, and that would maybe we can help offset some of this in terms of the numbers. But the Red Dragon follows it up. Hogwarts got almost 1 million concurrent players on Steam alone. And that's also on all platforms, not thrown into subscriptions and attacked endlessly by the media. The only thing the Red Dragon gets wrong is the LGBT plus, attacked this game immensely. And it's not saying that all the LGBT did this. It was literally just a handful, kind of a subsect of the group. And that was super promotion. Like that in and of itself, the game only has to be good. And it doesn't matter what the controversy is, that controversy is going to propel it into the stratosphere. And that's what they did. I don't think, this game has that kind of controversy going for it. But I don't know, at the end of the day, just release a good game and hope that people get mad about it, which is what these PlayStation fans are doing. King Thrash follows it up, says PlayStation exclusives sold 5 million, Xbox multi-plat players 1 million. Didn't Fallout 4 sell 14 million at launch? How Bethesda loses 13 million buyers. And again, this goes back into gamers don't understand that concurrency doesn't mean sell-through. And the game has shifted overall completely in the spectrum of what is going on within gaming. It's about those MAUs, those monthly active users. If you want to find the full sell-through, you times the concurrency by 7 to 11. That's the industry standard. This is across the board. So roughly speaking, that means they have anywhere from 7 to 11 million players at the time of this. That could go up, that could go down, but concurrency does not necessarily represent, it's not necessarily represent, it does not at all represent the total amount of downloads or sell-through. And that's essentially the pitch that some of these people are either falsifying to you guys to try to make a point, but they're failing on it because the data in and of itself speaks against it. You just need to know the real facts, and that's what I do here. And there you go. Now you know what that is. Now, on terms of sales, yeah, they're cannibalizing themselves with Game Pass because they want people in that. We will see. The real kind of testament is, what's the next Game Pass announcement? Does Game Pass hit that 30 million or more subscribers? Because that's what I think Phil Spencer wants to see, is that Game Pass number going up and up and up to justify their plan of business. Now, I think we still have a lot of runway before they decide to pull the plug on any of these, but for the short term, I'm enjoying it. My kids, as a family man, my kids love it because it gives us access to all kinds of games that I wouldn't necessarily even touch or buy. Now, let's get back into it. Jez tweets out, do you think it's funny that outlets and YouTubers who spent months talking shit about Starfield are still having to produce content based on how lots of people are playing it and having fun with it? That's one of the things that everybody just gets fatigued over, the overly negative aspect of gaming, but it is engagement farming. And that's where, again, same thing with Twitter, same thing with all of this. It's all about those impressions and that engagement. And it sucks. It sucks that it sucks, right? But that's just, at the end of the day, I think this meme is almost perfect. People are going to be upset making content about the game. Meanwhile, we're all over here having a fun time. And I would love to include PlayStation in that. Maybe PlayStation will, I guess, get with the program and all of a sudden start horse trading and say, you know what, maybe exclusives aren't what we need to do. Maybe we can put the 90s to rest and we can say, hey, what does 2025 and forward look like? Or at a minimum, maybe they can say, you know what, our games are going to come out on PC as well because we love when people buy our games, and then that gives us money so we can make even more games. But again, time will be the ultimate teller of that. Now, let's bring up a clip. This is from Alana Pierce reacting to the internet, having a not so positive reaction to her enjoying Starfield. Let's see what she has to say.
A particularly upstanding citizen of the internet here tweeted this in response to me playing Starfield. They said, Alana Pierce should be fired for promoting Xbox games on a public platform like this. Extremely unprofessional and demonstrates a lack of loyalty and seriousness to PlayStation, her employer, at Herman Holst, at Corey Pollock. Which, as an aside, Corey and I spent about 10 minutes before a meeting today talking about the stuff we were doing in Starfield and how much we were enjoying it, so good luck with that one. I'm also quite confident that if I DM'd Herman and were like, hey, how are you liking Starfield? He'd be like, it's great.
The idea of calling for anyone to be fired is truly mind-boggling to me. And I really just hope it's just trolls and people don't actively believe that in their heart, because there aren't really any teams. Most of the vast majority of us are excited for games. And if we have the financial ability, that we can have all systems. I got a PS5, I got an Xbox. I haven't played the original, Spider-Man yet. I do have it on PC. I just haven't had time. And one of the things is I want to play that. I'm looking forward to playing the Spider-Man 2 when I get time. Really, my biggest weakness isn't consoles. It's time. And that's really where, hopefully one day that's going to be something where I'm going to have a lot more availability to kick back, relax, and play. But Hazard Gaming shares this, a Starfield mod with PlayStation Studio intro. That is both a little bit salt in the wound, but also plus 10 on Metacritic is what they're saying, and truly, truly quite entertaining and fun to see. Now, as we wrap up the video news in and of itself, I do want to highlight Bloomberg and their interviews saying, why didn't you optimize Starfield for PC? And Todd Howard says, we did. You might just need to upgrade your PC. And I've seen a lot of people with different specs, different computers. Obviously, I think the mods for the DLSS 3, and that is improving some people's performance. And all in all, with me and a 3080 and, like a really good processor, I haven't had any problems with this game at all. No bad experiences. Decent, really decent, 70, 80, 90, frames, but I'm also running it, I can run it in ultra wide, which is gorgeous for the game itself. And that is pretty much where we're going to wrap up for today. So that says class dismissed. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This is the section where we talk about what you guys are talking about in the comments, and that usually deals with real life stuff. Now, I'm going to bring up this comment, but before I do, just a reminder, the student loan repayment program kicks back up here in the States here in October. Be paying attention. This is probably going to be nasty and a massive mess, but being that it's also most likely government driven in certain aspects, not on the private loan sector side of it, you chances are that they'll find a way to screw you each way from Sunday. And so just try to be as diligent as you can if you have student loans, and then essentially get on paying them off. These programs are designed to keep you indentured, to keep you, locked down, not free, not able to move, and fearful. And what ends up happening is that all these little things just pile up to the point where you just can't breathe. I was there. But thankfully, we found Dave Ramsey, started working his plan, and now no longer have to sit here and struggle as much. Life is still hard. It's not, I'm not sitting here, showering, every kind of dollar. We live and die off this budget that we sit down and make. And we use what's called the every dollar budget, where you spend every dollar at the start of the month. That way, essentially, you just tell your money what to do. You don't end up having any surprises, right? And so, and surprises will happen over the course of the month, but at the start of it, you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to save. This is what I'm going to use for debt payoff. And it gives you the ability to control the chaos, because if you don't tell your money what to do, it's just going to do whatever the heck it wants. And that's one of the things I found was the hardest thing to learn was, kind of saying no to myself and learning how to, create a budget. But anyway, let's bring up Andy. He says 4 years of methadone, quit cold turkey 3 weeks ago. I feel like I've been beat with a baseball bat, got food poisoning, and the worst hangover of my life. This has been a long time coming, and it's finally almost over. Your streams have helped me through this. You've always got a positive message, man. Thank you. And so cheers to your 3 weeks off of this drug. If you guys don't know, methadone it's an opiate-based drug that treats kind of pain, and that's one of the problems we're having in this country, probably more beyond these walls of the country, but I can only speak to what I've seen and heard and talked to. And especially for men, these are challenging, times when we see all of what is, it's easy to lose hope. It's easy to sit down and say oh man, it was easier back when, right? But you weren't made back when. You were made for today, right? So keep Andy in your prayers if you're the praying type, or your thoughts if you're not, or I don't know what other third option there might be in this case, cheering him on in this case, because this is getting, especially off of any kind of opiate, the system and big pharma and all these problems that I have experienced firsthand. Thankfully not drug addiction, but the problems with the pharmaceutical industry. It's hard. It's engineered, just like debt is engineered to keep you in prison. It's to keep you locked down. And it's really unfortunate because it's such a beautiful and easy trap, with the hyper marketing of both drugs and debt to us on a day-to-day basis are the principal people who are paying for our entertainment. Outside of the strike, if you go look at who is putting money on the airwaves, on these ads, generally it's drugs and it's credit cards. What's in your wallet is a great example. And so it's very easy to get ensnared in some of these traps that are set to steal your joy and keep you locked down, prevent you from doing anything, and then ultimately leading into despair. There's all kinds of other, could be always other factors like chemical and more. But the thing I'm finding is that especially when it comes to my own health and my own health journey, as I've been working to lose this 100 pounds, making good progress, feeling so much better. and then looking so much better too, if I might add to myself. But my lack of humility is funny to me. But but what I want to be kind of stress, and it's important, is that like you are going to be your best advocate. You're going to be the best person to fight the fight for you, and it's going to take your will on this. And sometimes it sucks because sometimes that means you got to hit rock bottom. It doesn't mean you have to, though. For some people, in order to start looking up and climbing up, it means that things just got to get as bad as they can get. But you can still say, you know what, this sucks. I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of doing this thing. I'm tired of doing the same thing and being in the same place. And why does it feel like I'm always, losing in that case? And so you're going to be your best advocate. You can always, it doesn't matter how old you are. We've had people, kind of chime in that they've, started paying off debt. They started changing their life in their 50s and in their 60s. If you got lungs, air in your lungs, your heart's beating, you can make changes. You can truly be who you hope to be. It's going to be like, some of it might be, depending on what it is, like might be painful, might be a long road. But that, the thing is time's going to keep on keeping on, right? It's going to, like, right now it's 2023 when I'm recording this. Some point it'll be 2025. Time it'll be 2030. Time will keep timing. My question is that do I want to, do I want to stay where I've been, or do I want to have a direction? And things will change on that pathway, but at least I'm moving towards something. And so figure out what your North Star is. And then, figure out, what steps you can start to make. And, maybe good things, or programs will come along to make it easy. But stop waiting on somebody to come and save you. I mean, that's the best thing I can kind of tell you. Andy, in this case, taking it in his own hands. And that what he's doing is very hard. And so I commend him and I applaud him and hopefully wish him all the very best. Now, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you feel like it earns it, hit that like button. I issued, I think, a 50 like challenge on the last video. I didn't bring it up in this one. What did you guys hit? And it was, holy smokes, 392 likes. Thank you guys for that. Let's keep it at let's go humble 100. Humble 100 likes on this video. I appreciate you guys for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. But until then, take care.